Howdy. This is going to be my top 10 favorite fragrances. Now, I don't have the resume to tell you what to purchase or what should be the best fragrances in the world. That's not what this video is about. This video is mostly for me, just to kind of reflect in the future how my fragrances and how my taste in fragrances has changed. So, starting off with number 1, and these are in no particular order. The first 2 I purchased first, and then the last 3 are, I think, my top 3 favorite fragrances. Other than that, no order. Even the top 3, not in particular order. I can't choose a favorite, so that's why. So, number 1, I had been making my own fragrances for a little while, and they were all trash. So, I wanted to get an actual fragrance and see what the quality was like, how it smelled, and kind of try and emulate just like quality into my own fragrances, because I didn't know, like, are my fragrances good? Are they bad? They weren't good. The first fragrance I got, kind of a mistake, even though it is in the top 10 of my favorite fragrances, but the mistake was I wanted to get a fragrance to kind of see what the quality is like. So I bought a $20 fragrance from Rite Aid, and it's a Crema, which is like a men's soap brand, Silver Water and Birch, which is a clone of Silver Mountain Water. And for me, this is pretty strong, and all these fragrances in this list are strong performers. You can smell them constantly on your skin. Other people can smell them. They last a long time. So this one for me lasts a long time. Sillage, the Armaf clone, that lasts a long time, although I think this one smells better. I don't know if it smells closer to Silver Mountain Water. I do have a sample of Silver Mountain Water. But it's not, I don't know if it's like the atomizer or if I'm just not spraying enough, but it lasts like 2 minutes. It smells really good. It probably smells better than this. Definitely higher quality. And then it's just gone in like 2 minutes, which is not a good sign, because I think I have a pretty good sense of smell. Like, this for me lasts like 16 hours, and it's an eau de toilette. Eau de toilettes for me usually don't last 16 hours. They usually last like 4. But this one kind of wears like a eau de parfum. I really enjoy this one. I thought maybe it was aquatic. I don't think it is. It doesn't really seem aquatic to me, but it kind of got me thinking that I should try out more aquatics. So onto my second fragrance. I thought I learned from my previous mistake of getting a clone or a cheap fragrance, and I bought another cheap fragrance on accident. The idea was to get a designer fragrance to see what the quality is like, because I was kind of comparing my fragrances to a clone, and even so, they were still worse. So I wanted to get like a real designer fragrance, and the real designer fragrance I got was actually this one. It is Eternity Summer Days from Calvin Klein, and this is a really nice fragrance. I really like this one. It's not like your prototypical Calvin Klein like yearly release where they're just like fresh and they don't last a long time. This one's sweet. You can wear it in the summer. It's not too cloying, but it's got some depth to it. This one lasts a long time. It smells really interesting. It's fruity, it's tropical. It's got some mint in there. I don't really get any mint. But that like resinous base, I really do enjoy. I bought this from Macy's for $95, I think. You can get this for like $20, $23, something like that. I bought a backup for $23, but I'm still not mad that I got this for $95, because I do enjoy it that much. So that's number 2 in no particular order. And number 3, I was at the mall when I purchased this. I could smell fragrances from like a mile away. So I found myself in a store called Arabian Oud, which I've never heard before. And I got this fragrance, Elegant Black. It was around Christmas time, and this was on sale for like $40. I think on their website it's like $120. Do not get this for $120. I'd be intrigued to see if anyone has ever heard of this fragrance before, because it's like not even on Fragrantica. I tried looking up the notes. I think the notes are apple, cashmere, sandalwood, saffron, and a few other ones I forget. But it's a really nice fragrance. It's kind of like an oud rose fragrance without the oud or the rose. So it's got like the supporting cast of an oud rose fragrance. It might be better with oud. I don't know. It smells really good on its own as it is. I wouldn't really change it. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. It's deep. It's dark. It's a little bit sweet. It's got apple in there, kind of like Eau de Parfum, where it's not like a realistic apple, but this is not as sweet as Eau de Parfum. And I like sweet fragrances, but I like when they're like lightly sweet, so I really do dig this one. Number 4 is an Issey Miyake. I was intrigued by the original L'Eau d'Issey because I heard about it, I've seen it a few times, and I saw that it had yuzu and jasmine in the note breakdown. And I thought that was super interesting. I've never smelled or tasted yuzu before, so I thought that'd be a good pickup for me, and I do enjoy jasmine. So I got the fragrance in. I wasn't happy with it at all. It didn't smell great to me. There was just way too much jasmine. I think that was the issue. And this fragrance has like a bit of that DNA with the yuzu and jasmine, and for some reason I do really like this one. And this is Issey Miyake Vetiver. It does have like kind of like almost like an accord, like an original L'Eau d'Issey accord in this fragrance. It's got the yuzu, it's got the jasmine. It's only a little bit of jasmine, and then surrounding it are other notes and vetiver, which I really do like. I'm a huge fan of vetiver. I think this is the only vetiver forward fragrance in this list, and I do have a lot, but this one for me is the one. It's got that deep rooty vetiver, not like the green vetiver, which I think a lot of people are afraid of, which I do like, but this one does it for me the most. It's citrusy, it's woody, it's good. Number 5 is the second and the last clone in this list, and this is Barouge Perle d'Or. It's a clone of Carlisle. I smelled Carlisle at the mall, and I thought it smelled really similar, so I didn't pick it up. Fragrance tip for saving money: if you have the weaker or less expensive version of another stronger or more expensive fragrance, and you're good with the one that you have, the cheaper or less strong one, then you don't have to get the strong one or the more expensive one. You can save your money. So that's what I did. This one for me, it's really good. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's got leather in there. I'm not a huge leather fan, but in here it's not like in the forefront or anything like that, and I think that's why I like it. I wore this on a bike ride in the spring, which is probably not a good time to wear a deep fragrance like this, but it worked well for me. I could smell it while riding my bike 22 miles per hour and could still smell it, so strong performer. The next one is Acqua di Gio Profumo, and this fragrance is now, I think, discontinued. You might be able to find it on Fragrantica. I wouldn't spend any more than like $75 on this if you can find it for lower. If it's like 100 or more and you're really interested in this, I would just get the clone, Lattafa Secret. I do have that clone. I wear it from time to time. I wear this from time to time. They're pretty much similar. This one has more nuance than Secret. Secret's a little bit flatter, but they both smell really nice. It smells really nice, and they both last a long time. So this one, for me, not too aquatic. The thing I like about it is the freshness and the smokiness. So like smoky and fresh fragrances, I don't know, they just do it for me. The next one in this list, it's also smoky and fresh. I don't get a whole lot of greenness from this. I don't get a whole lot of patchouli, like a lot of people say. But this one for me is just the smoky and the fresh aspects, like incense and bergamot probably, and musks. So this one, really nice, wear it to work. The next one, smoky, fresh, Brioni. It is Eclat from Brioni. And this one is like a deep fragrance, which is kind of strange to be deep and fresh. But it is. I think it's got a lot of Isui Super and probably some musk that's giving that like deep resinous effect, even though there's probably no resin in this. It's got a little bit of rose in there. Probably a little bit more than what a beginner rose fragrance would want. So like if you're not a huge fan of rose, this might not be good for you. But this kind of, I think it was my first rose fragrance, and I've since gotten more, and I do enjoy the rose in here. I think actually it would be better with a little bit more rose, but I'm good with this for now. People find a similarity to Terre d'Hermès. If you're not really thinking about it, it doesn't really remind you of Terre d'Hermès. It's kind of its own thing. Terre d'Hermès is not nearly as deep as this one either. But it's fresh, it's smoky, and I think that's why I like it so much. Now we're on the last 3. So these 3 in no particular order are my top 3 fragrances. And this one, for me, was kind of like the first fragrance where I couldn't really put into words like how good it was. This one is Ambre Noir. Now I thought that Encre Noir, Au Extreme, was like the pinnacle of Lalique. And I thought that was very elegant. I thought that was like money in a bottle, even though it was pretty cheap. But this one is like a rich person in a bottle. This one is very fancy. It smells boozy. It smells a little bit like black licorice, so there might be star anise in here. But it doesn't list it in the note breakdown. But if you like whiskey or if you like black licorice, this one I think you'd like. But this one, I don't know, for me, it just captivates me somehow. The spiciness, it's not really that sweet, but there's probably a little bit of sweetness in there. It's woody, it's boozy, I like whiskey. This is a really nice fragrance. The next fragrance is another fragrance where I couldn't really explain how good it was with the words that I know. It just has so much nuance to it. It was my first iris fragrance, and I have iris materials, and they smell like old ladies. I wouldn't really expect an iris fragrance to smell this good to me. It smells bright, smells not too powdery for an iris fragrance, but it is Roberto Cavalli Uomo Silver Essence. I don't think you can get this anymore. It might pop up on discounters every once in a while, and if it does, for maybe $60 or less, I would get it. If not, there's other iris fragrances that are pretty much just as good as this one, but this one is the one that I like the most. So don't take my word for yours. So Roberto Cavalli Uomo Silver Essence, this was another one where I was smelling it on myself the first time I wore it, and I just felt great. Fragrances don't really give me confidence or anything like that. They just make me feel good. I just like the dopamine that is released when I smell them, or even if I just look at these bottles, it just does that thing in my brain where I'm like, wow, that's cool. This is a really nice fragrance. It's fresh. You can wear it in any time of the year. You can wear it in the winter. You can wear it in the summer. Really good iris fragrance. And I've since bought more iris fragrance, but they don't do it for me like that one does. And the last fragrance in the list is a strong one. It's the strongest one. This one lasts 24 hours easily, even with just one spray. And that is Oolong Cha from the Shane. And this was, I think, possibly my first niche fragrance, although I've bought Elegant Black, which I guess is considered niche because Arabian Oud only makes fragrances. But I would say it's more designer-esque. But this one, truly niche, even though it's Nishane, not the most extravagant niche brand. Even though they have Extrait de Parfums, they're pretty affordable for a niche brand. And this one is just, I don't know, it just captivates me. It's got oolong tea as probably the primary note. I don't think it smells like tea. I think maybe it's like an accord, or they got a natural like oolong leaf and they put that in this, but it smells a little green. It smells a little soapy to me. I don't really like soapy fragrances. I don't think this smells like soap, but it reminds me of a soap I smelled as a kid. So there's a little bit of nostalgia behind this, and that might be why I like it so much. But yeah, this one is just very fresh. It's not deep like a Clot, but it somehow lasts like 24 hours. So yeah, Oolong Cha from Ashana. It's really good. So those were my top 10 favorite fragrances for now. We'll see how it changes in the future. I don't see myself making many videos like this in the near future. I don't see myself as a fragrance reviewer. I see myself as more of a perfumer. There are a couple really good perfumer YouTube channels out there, and they are much better than I am on information and production. I don't think I'm going to be doing too much perfumery, but I do want to do like fragrance entertainment. So I'll be doing some experiments. Also getting a little negative, I would say. Like there's not enough negativity in the fragrance community. And by that I mean there's not a whole lot of videos that are saying don't buy this. There are some, but I think there could be more, and I think I have a few ideas for that to help save money. So I might be doing something like that in the near future, as well as some other fun things. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you. So that was my top 10 favorite fragrances for now. Oh god. So those were my top 10 favorite fragrances for now. Oh, shoot.